computer science background. So therefore, I think I try to leverage. Balance because it's actually AR and VR is quite technical, but if you go to the deep technical, is going to become a 5-day courses or even 1 semester courses. And then for today, I think I try to set the foundation and get everyone to understand at least the background. And before that, maybe I would like to ask kind of survey and maybe some breaking session normally, because I think if we don't know each other, maybe it's a bit hard for me to get some understanding everyone. Yeah. So basically, thank you for the introduction. I think that one you take from my maybe website or something, or just Google. Okay. So thank you for the the introduction. I think is quite accurate lah. Okay. Okay. Can I just know, anyone have programming experience? It's easy to understand. Programming experience before. Okay. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Or anyone from here, Kuliah of IT, is it? Kuliah of ICT. Kuliah of ICT. Okay. So I think okay. 1, 2, 3. Can just boleh saya buka mic tak, sebab I think lebih ni kan. Sebab dah lama tak it's already more than 2 years it's not face to face, having online. Alright. So it's okay, the rest Kuliah of Education 1 only. Oh, 2. All right. Education. Kuliah of Education. All right. And then the rest will be from law. All right. Okay. Social science. Okay. All right. Sociology. KRM. Language. All right. Okay. Okay. From Pago. Okay. Okay. So thank you for joining from Pago. Kuantan medical kan? Pharmacy. Alright. So okay. Alright. Okay. So how are we going to? I think you all know each other before. So it's a bit. So it's good to have like a 5 minutes ice breaking. Maybe use in the table you have around 6 to 5. So maybe can you introduce each other in your table, and then what happened is I would like you to introduce your friend after this. So you just get prepared lah. So at least your name. Because this is Hari Raya, maybe you can ask your hold on, not start yet. Very excited. Okay. The question that you need to ask your friend: where do you celebrate your Hari Raya? Okay. It's easy kan? Okay. Your hometown ke, your spouse hometown ke? Okay. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. So at least everyone know each other. Yeah. Okay, kena tahu semua orang. Okay, bagus. Okay, I think if any table ready, any group ready to introduce your friend. Maybe start from back. Boleh belakang.
Okey. Tahun sebelah. Assalamualaikum. Very good morning. This is Saira from KLM. Oh, forget to ask. Here in Cyberjaya.
Assalamualaikum everyone. This is Dr. Farida. She's from KLM. She's my colleague. And okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. This is my colleague Dr. Farida. She is from KLM and she celebrated her Hari Raya in Telangana. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Okay, this is Ain. I only know her as Ain from Kuliah Nurul Ain from Kuliah of Nursing, Kuantan, and she celebrated Hari Raya in her parents' hometown in Rawang. Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. My friend next, which we just met, he's from his name is Muhammad Abdul Majid, and he's celebrating the Raya here at home dekat KL.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good morning for everyone. Inshallah, and wishing everyone a wonderful event, inshallah. My colleague is Dr. Irna from College of Nursing, Pharmacy, because we have a nursing pharmacy. And she spent her Hari Raya in Kuantan. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ke kiri, ke kanan. Ke kiri boleh. Ni Suhaila daripada engineering. Suhaili dari engineering. Sama lah lebih kurang. Dia beraya kat Johor. Betul. Terima kasih.
Alright, Assalamualaikum. My name is Suhaili. I'm this from sini eh? Oh, I thought I know you. Okay. Then I have to change. Alright, this is Dr. Atia. She's from KOE. She spent her Raya in Johor. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum, selamat Hari Raya everyone. This is pusing. This is Prof Mira from KICT and the director of CPD, and she spent her Hari Raya after 2 years in Bandung, Indonesia.
Finally cross borders. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone. Eid Mubarak. And this is my partner in crime, Dr. Nur Farahidah Zabah, but we call her Adah. She's from Kuliah of Engineering, ECE. Oh, Raya di mana? Raya di Ipoh. From her social media.
Okay, so very obvious. So this is brother Faiz. He is a student of Prof Ida. He celebrated his Hari Raya in Kulai, Johor.
Hello, this is my professor, Professor Ida. She celebrated her Raya in shock, basically at Kota Baru, Kelantan, and in shock that she cannot make her kuzi. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. So this year is Raya in shock. Okay. This table, okay?
Yeah, Assalamualaikum. Selamat Hari Raya. My name is Sadiq. My friend here is Muhammad Ikram. He did his Raya at Kelantan and Penang. Yeah, 2 places. From his wife's side and his own side. and it's nice to meet him. His area of expertise is Islamic education. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Dr. Ahmad Rawiani from CFS Gambang, right? In linguistic, and he celebrated the Raya in Kuala Lumpur, following his wife.
Following my wife. Thank you, Dr. Ikram. Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Rawyani. Oh, you have introduced me. Okay. So this person next to me is Dr. Abdul Hakim from Nigeria. He celebrated his Raya in Cerating, following the wife. Yeah, he's married to a Malaysian. Alhamdulillah. Okay. You speak Malay.
All right, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This brother Sadiq is very easy for me to introduce because he's my friend. He's from Nigeria. He's in Kuliah of Law. Yeah. I call him an IT guy in law because he's always interested in IT. So he celebrated his because he doesn't have a choice to go over now. So, hobby, I think it's IT. That's what I would say. In Gomba here, he doesn't have a choice.
Okay, thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azmi Hassan from KICT. So let me introduce my friends here. Dr. Amir from KICT, and he celebrated his Hari Raya in Kedah. Kuala Lumpur, actually, sorry. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Dr. Amir. This is my friend Dr. Syakawi from KICT also. He celebrated his Hari Raya in Kota Baru, Kelantan.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let me introduce our new friend here from sociology, Dr. Sohela. So she has been in IUM since March this year. So welcome to IUM. All right. She has been she celebrated Eid here in the IUM Mosque. All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Assalamualaikum. As Dr. said, that I'm Dr. Sohela Mustari. I'm from Bangladesh and very new in this university. So very happy that this is my first face-to-face celebration means in any program. So I'm very happy. Okay, thank you for that. And yes, next to me is Dr. Adriana. She's from ICT and she celebrated her Hari Raya with her family in KL. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, selamat Raya to all. My name is Adrina and this is also from KICT, Dr. Sriani. So she's celebrated Raya in Johor.
Yes, Assalamualaikum. So myself has been introduced by Dr. Adrina. My name is Suryani and this is my colleague also from KICT, Dr. Azmi. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to introduce my friend here. Next to me is Dr. Muna from KICT. She celebrated her Hari Raya in Kelantan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, selamat Hari Raya to everyone. Okay, so I want to introduce my friends next to me. Okay, he is Dr. Adli. Okay, from Kuliah of Science. Okay, he celebrated his Hari Raya at Bangi.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to introduce my friend here, Dr. Izzah. She celebrated her Hari Raya in Johor. Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you for the introduction. Me myself, I celebrate Hari Raya in Hulu Langat, Selangor. Okay. So for our program today, basically, we divide into actually four module, 4 session. First, I would like to give some overview. Maybe some of you have already know what is augmented reality and virtual reality, but maybe some of you not. So it's a state of the art of augmented reality. Basically, augmented reality, because today I will introduce both, because at the beginning I received the title is augmented reality. So so it can be both, augmented reality and virtual reality. What is the difference, and what is the future and current and future. And after that, I think we can have some break, and right after break we will go into the what is the current and future application in education, and also some experience with AR. Basically, it's more on the hands-on. It's not the programming. I didn't expect that we have a programming session because it's too short time. Okay, but if you want, we can just introduce a bit later about some so-called drag and drop for augmented reality. And also after that, we going to discuss and talk about what is the future of augmented and virtual reality. Okay, so let us start if everyone's ready. Okay, before I start, I think a bit about our institute, so that we can know more about what we are doing. So I'm from Institute of Human-Centered Engineering, where in this institute we have 4 Center of Excellence. So Magic X is one of the Center of Excellence where I so-called founding that center. And we have IJN, Institute Jantung Negara, and UTM collaboration, focusing on the cardiovascular engineering. Okay, and also we have Medical Devices Technology and Sport Innovation Technology Center. So we are cross-disciplinary, from computer science, mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, electric engineering, sports science, as well as psychology. So the institute is focused on the research. So we don't have any academic program, but we have a professional program, and also the professional diploma program. So our research fellow, basically having the way in UTM, basically we have to report into two PTG. For those who are joining center, they have to have the deans as for the academic, for the teaching, supervision, and for research report to the director of the center. Okay, so we have around 40 something academic, 6 professor, 24 senior lecturer, 4 associate professor. If you can see some, maybe of you familiar with some of the faces, if there is, maybe you can point. And we have currently we have 3 postdoc, 276. This is last year data. PhD student, and also master by research. We have about 25. All right. So our research team basically focus in 6 team, which is first, this is not according to the priority. It's Sport 4.0, HSC, Health, Safety and Environment 4.0, and then Medicine and Food Technology, Classroom of the Future, where I'm leading that Classroom of the Future initiative, and assistive technology and lifestyle. So I think Industry 4.0 is quite common, and somehow it's already forgotten now, because I think it's kind of like trending, but actually it's the idea is we are now still in Industry 4.0 area, or you call it era, So because why I don't know. Some have this defined like 4.1, 4.2, 4.100 something. So basically, where are we now exactly? We don't know. Okay, but some of those is already introduces Industry 5.0, 6.0. So it's kind of like for those who are leading we are actually as a Malaysia or the we can say third country as well. We are still following, because the trendsetter is the developed country, the real industrial country. So basically, we should invent the technology. We should invent the technology and also commercialize and then go to the global, I suppose. Okay, basically the difference between Industry 4.1, Industry 1.0 until 4 is basically on how it changed the way we work, the way we have in our life, the way we do the business, the way we interact each other and so on. Because I think this is very related to augmented reality and virtual reality. Okay, and the pillars of the technology, we have somehow the digital. Yeah, we call it as a convergent era now. Okay, so I'm not going to talk so much about Industry 4.0 because I think this somehow related to your memory, maybe. Any one of you have tried having experience holding the left one? Having experience, when is it? Betul? Siapa punya? Your father's, yeah? Which one? The number one? The second one. Okay. Alright. Atur, eh? You have? The first one. Alright. So, and then it is evolved. I think most of us have experienced this one. Yeah? And then this one? Okay, and still in your pocket or in your handbag? This one, eh? How long is this one already? When is have been introduced? The last one. Do you remember when you have that in your pocket, in your hand?
It's not very smart, right?
No, I think this one is when iPhone is introduced. Okay, where there is no button, only one button, and the whole is a screen. So that's the kind of like evolution, the very frog leap revolution or evolution. 2006. Yeah, it's around 2007 and 2008. I think even in 2008, when you bring it to Malaysia, it's still like you are the the techie one lah, the techie guys, or maybe you are someone who are very weird. But you can do many things lah during that time compared to the previous. And then there is basically previously like a BlackBerry. Or Nokia yang boleh lipat ataupun 9. Okay. So with this actually, it's already like today 2022 and it's already what? Around 14 years, yeah? 14 years the technology is here and it's still like that, I think, until there's somebody who will introduce something different, yeah? And okay, not the office space. Yeah, the skip. Yeah, what the device can do. Okay, there's a lot of things. Yeah, you can do now with this small friend, and I believe some of you have two, and some of you have more. But you have the main one. But I still remain one for the time being. Okay, basically this is what you can do even for virtual reality, augmented reality. You can do your video call. You can do your now during the COVID-19 pandemic. You can do your meeting, class, lectures, and also. May I know most of your usage of this device every day, what you do? WhatsApp, okay. YouTube, all right. What phone do you have? I mean, iPhone 13, the Samsung 21. I just want basically you underuse, yeah. Basically, you underuse the capability of your phone actually. You just watch YouTube. You can watch from television now actually, or even you can watch from the lower end for YouTube, or even WhatsApp and so on. So basically, this actually can be used more or beyond what is your expectation. Yeah. So we will show you how later. Yeah? And when we talk about Industry 4.0 just now, so actually this is around 9 technology pillars, which I think some of you is familiar, especially from ICT. Yeah. Anyone working on the tak biasa ni. Okay. Anyone working on the robot? Or electrical engineering? Some of you from engineering just now. Okay, on the robot, autonomous. Robot is not real robot unless it's autonomous, or maybe it's having their own intelligence. Or otherwise, you can remote control from that. Because some of us, look at the physical. Physical robot, it means that something physical, but at last they are remote control by human. So it's not robot in the actual expectation. Okay, and simulation, I think most of you have imagination what is a simulation technology. Yeah, you can do any simulate. You can even numerical simulation. Now you can look at the visual simulation, and the most popular term now is actually digital twin. Have you heard about digital twin? Something what happened in the real, it will be twinning digitally, either visually or numerically. Okay, and also that one digital twin is like something real, yeah, what it happened. But simulation is for prediction for the future and so on. And of course, there's a system integration. With the system integration, there's a lot of what I call technology, digital happening. Yeah. For example, even as simple as your Waze or Google Map. Okay. This kind of system integration is actually come from the crowd giving information and then put in the server. And then somebody else can see from your phone. You can drive Grab, drive your own vehicle, okay, from one point to another point, and then it can be make an analysis and so on. Okay, Internet of Things, yeah, sensors, yeah, or not only sensors, everything is integrated in the system integration. Okay, it's also popular now in IoT, cybersecurity. I think we have in IUM cybersecurity center, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Prof Tengku previously, Prof Tengku Sembuk, is it? Tengku Muhammad Tengku Sembuk previously, yeah? And he go to UPNM now. Okay, and cloud computing, of course, now is everything in the cloud. Even now your Google Drive, your Dropbox, is as easy as that. Your system. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing, yeah, or even go deeper on the medical, and yes, augmented reality is something that we are looking today. Big data, I think the term big data is also, there's changes, yeah, to another term now, and okay, so basically simulation something related to VR as well, yeah. Yeah, for this is from WEF, is it? So that they find that augmented reality is one of the technology pillar. It's more like it's actually everything need to be combine each other so that it can be ideal Industry 4.0 system or technology. Okay, actually, when we talk about technology, it is the balance. We need to have a balance between content and the technology. Okay, so it's like a bottle. Bottle is like what? Bottle is like the technology. The water inside the bottle is the content. So no matter good the bottle, but if the water is not, not nice, so it's meaningless. Yeah. So I think most of us here some of you balance. Some of you from ICT is talking about I call it technology. Yeah, and maybe from education is talking about content. So for the content people need to understand technology, and the technology people need also to understand the content. So we cannot only develop the technology, and at the end of the day, the technology cannot be used because there is no content, input on the technology, as well as the psychology, human-computer interaction, human-machine interaction, interface, and so on. Okay. Okay. Before we go that, let's look at the office space. Okay. Coming back to the early 60s, I think. What is the situation in the office? Okay. You know this? Anyone? You know this film? You know the story. You can explain. It's related to you. No. Okay. So basically, what is the communication tools they have here? Telephone. This is telephone, typewriters, very noisy in the office. Yeah, and then we have like the staff. And this is the boss room. When I was a student, when you go to the headmaster room, there's still a globe, or at least map. So actually, they are already now.
Ya, datang sama kapal Banquet. Ya, kapal Banquet. Ya. Halo. Ya, 4 ekor. It's me now cakap. Besok pagi. Ya. Halo. Ya. Minta sama PL kanan. Bilang Ismail mau. Mau boleh pasang. Ya. Ya. Anda pergi stop. Ya. Ismail mau. Kasih tahu. Ismail. Saya Ismail. Kasih tahu semua. Kali. Cepat. Besok pukul 10. Mau ready. Saya akan pergi sama-sama nanti. Di kedai. Atau di kapal. Ya. Allah. Tolong.
Okay, this is actually not really happen to all in this arena. Maybe only. This is what I want to relate basically. Okay, this is maybe only for businessmen. Okay, or only for those who are very rich. But now you can imagine this all phone is in one device. Okay, you have WhatsApp, for example. WhatsApp, not only WhatsApp, email. You have also your university system, e-learning, everything. So it's all communicate. Okay, and also especially for director, for the deans, you have to sign. You need to entertain the not only student, your staff, your boss as well, and also there's a document. There's a lot of as an academician, like you have 7P in UTM, so we call it 7P, 9P. So it's similar actually. Only the changes is technology. Okay, the busyness becoming this happened to many people, not only for businessmen. In this time, only happened to few people, but now it's happened to most of us. So this is what I want to suggest to recap about the content and technology and how the content still remain actually. The busy still remain or even increase. Yeah, the technology is. When you have more technology, whether or not is make you more busy or easier? Actually, the reason of having technology is to make it easy. Okay, to make it, let's say for example, waste. Waste. So you can easily go to one point to another point. So you don't have to have your pre-awareness about everything in the road. You don't have to know about, to hear a report from radio about the traffic. So you just waste and then you know, okay, and then there is a suggestion for the shortcut. But then, actually that is how the technology help. Yeah? And then how the technology content, basically you need to balance with the busyness, the effect and so on. This is more on the psychology lah. Okay. So this is actually current office space. Yeah, current office space. Maybe here. Yeah, we have some similar like this. Okay, this is maybe the office of the professor in the future. Okay, so this is different. So you can communicate with your partners, with your student maybe, through the visual. Through the we call it so-called video conference as for now. Yeah. And maybe this is still relate to the desktop, laptop. Yeah. And maybe in the future, you don't need to have anything you bring and then go in front of your table, put and then flip your laptop and so on. So maybe you just use wearable technology, and then everything is in front of you. Yeah, you can be immersive also as in the technology. Okay, so basically this is the major changes. Yeah, the major changes from the beginning of the computer. Okay, we assume desktop together with your, not the screen is not only like this. Maybe it's CRT, the big one before. Yeah, so it's evolved from room to desk to lab. That's why we call a laptop, and then smartphone, and also later use wearable glasses and so on. So it's from room to head. Yeah, yes, from big to smaller, and also when we use, some of us need all, some of us only need one, some of us only need 2 or 3. Yeah? And again, what is in this device is basically we have a few technology like camera, GPS, okay, compass, accelerometer. Remember when in 1990s or early 2000, maybe when we want to go travel. Let's say you just imagine you want to go back Hari Raya lah, in 2000. What you bring? You don't have smartphone that time, early 2000. So, but you have phone, maybe Nokia, okay, but there is no camera. So you bring another device for camera. Okay, maybe you also bring, some of you have GPS. Okay, GPS by itself, and compass, maybe you want to go for outdoor, for camping and so on. Okay, so it's all separated. Now it's everything in one device, and maybe in the future everything in plan maybe, or maybe in the wearable. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? VR headset. So maybe that's not in the future. This is now actually during the Samsung conference. So everyone is provided by the VR headset. This is not the what you call it, the VR for. This is only casing. Yeah? This is a casing so that you can put your smartphone inside. Right. So everyone is using during the conference. We're not sure whether they are looking at the content, or maybe they go somewhere else, or maybe some of them sleeping. Okay, so this is actually what happened. Okay, All right. Okay, let's move to the so-called a bit ni lah, kata academic skill on the definition. Okay, this is actually from 1994, the definition, and it's still valid until today, but it's they have some evolution as well. So, okay, previously before this class, I think how many of you understand really understand about augmented reality? AR, the definition. Okay, right? VR. Okay, only a few. Okay, the rest is just dengar-dengar kot kan. There's technology apa semua kan. Okay, so basically, if you want to imagine between the real environment to the virtual environment, okay, the difference is real environment is like this. Okay, we are real. We are when I have if I touch, you feel. Okay, you feel my touch, is it? If I kick you, maybe you feel angry as well. You have suddenly you have some why? Okay, so that is real. Okay, in that, and the other part is virtual. Virtual means it's a computer generated, computer synthesized image, sounds. Everything can be synthesized now from the digital, yeah. And the target for the virtual environment is basically, or virtuality, basically to imitate the real environment to the virtual. So when we are in the virtual, when I touch, you feel. Up to now, maybe it's not really. For those who have experience with virtual reality, maybe you're wearing devices and so on. Somebody outside your, I mean, just near to you, also you cannot see. And even touch can lah, but if you want to do some interaction in the virtual, then you cannot feel. So that's, I think, one of the, if you are going further into research, that's one part of the research that you can explore. The research gap is still a lot. Yeah. And another one is basically sound, okay, smell, all the senses. Yeah, not only touch, smell, all the taste. Yeah. So how there is a lot of research actually on imitating the virtual environment, with real world to the virtual environment, until even go to the touch, smell, and sound. Of course, is easy. Okay, even in terms of, I mean, this is like a relationship, long distance relationship as well. Okay, and actually, when we look at this, okay, so where is augmented reality? So augmented reality is here, near to real environment. So there is the percentage of virtual environment is less than 50. So that is what we define as augmented reality, where the virtual object is just less than 50%, is blended into the real environment. But you can see through medium, whether it's a phone, like maybe your head-mounted display, and so on. Okay. For virtual environment or virtual reality, is 100% supposed. Yeah. Everything you see is virtual environment. Everything you see is virtual. Yeah. And I think this one is not so familiar, augmented virtuality, because the term, yeah. Because normally they also confuse between augmented reality, augmented virtuality, and virtual reality, because in VR, for augmented virtuality is also less than, I mean, more than 50% is virtual reality, less than 50% real. How you can see the real is basically when we have a so-called, like when you have a virtual reality meeting, yeah, someone is sitting like this, and then suddenly they come the video call, for example. So the video call, you can see the real face. You can see the real face from your phone, your virtual phone. So that is maybe just a small portion of the virtual environment is the real environment. Okay, so this is what we call virtual reality and virtuality continuum. Okay, this is already been introduced in 1994 by Milgram and Casino. Okay, you have any question before we go further about this? Any question related to the imagination of your understanding about VR, AR, and all of this, they call it as a mixed reality. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for the question. I think related to augmented reality, I mean IR 4.0, AR is AR and above. Yeah, basically, because IR 4.0 normally is go towards more technology for the industry, and the way that we live impact by the industry. So when we look at the easy one, of course, the education for IR 4.0, there is industry 4.0 for education and so on. But I just can give you some imagination on the manufacturing, for example. Okay, the usage of augmented reality is basically more on the how you can increase the level of competence of the not for the robot but for the workers. So maybe they can learn about something what they need to do by getting the guidance from the augmented reality. So that's one example. And another example is basically in education. In education 4.0, for example, they are using all the digital technology and so on. So maybe the usage of AR and VR, it can be used for basically when you say, for example, TVET. Yeah? TVET, when you want to do experiment, want to do some engineering work or technical work, so there is some guidance in front of you, so that you can, okay, this is next step, first step, so you don't have to refer to the books. So I will talk more detail about this in the next session. And there is another term we call extended reality. Anyone heard about extended reality? Okay, so this group maybe is maybe all the most techy. Many terms they are already. Or maybe okay. So extended reality is the combination of mixed reality, augmented reality, and virtual reality. So sometimes they confuse what is that. So they just easy they call extended reality, XR. So actually XR is the combination. Okay, but in more detail, basically it is you want to go for AR, VR or VE, and also now for those familiar with metaverse. Metaverse later. At the end of our session today, we will discuss about metaverse. How AR and VR influence the metaverse. Yeah? All right. So yeah, technically, this is the definition of AR. Okay, just now by visual. So it is a combination of combined real and virtual image. Okay, so you can see virtual and also real at one time. Okay, for example, you can see your friend face and then some information coming up from your, maybe you can face and then you can know, okay, this is your name, your ID and so on. Okay, and then it should have interaction in the real time, suppose. Yeah, it's not only just information, but you can interactive, communicate with the content, and should be registered in 3D. Meaning that when register mean when the information is here, this is 3D world. Information is here when you go here, so the information left behind, and when you go back, then the information still here. Okay, so that is the registration of object in the 3D. Or maybe it's somewhere. Okay, you put in the marker. Okay, so the 3D will fix into the marker. So when you move the marker, so the 3D is following the marker. Later you can see the more video. I'll show to get more understanding from video. Okay, the difference between AR and VR. Okay. AR tadi enhance the reality. So you have reality, you enhance reality by having more information. VR is replace reality. So you are totally at the different world, different environment. You are in the synthetic environment. Yeah. So scene is generated for VR requires a realistic image, as real as possible. So remember just now I mentioned that VR or VE is try to imitate the real world. So when we talk about imitating the real world means the real world, the virtual world should be the similar or the best ever real to the virtual. Okay, so should be realistic. Realistic not only on the visual but also in the real. Any other form. And then display devices. Okay, display should be fully immersive. But there is a semi-immersive and half immersive. And they have a wide field of view. Wide field of view means you can see a range of view, yeah, 360 and panoramic and so on. And in terms of tracking and sensing means low accuracy is okay. Meaning that they still use devices to interact. Okay, and there is a lot of research to get rid of the devices so that you can interact by your natural hand gesture and so on. Okay, just imagine in VR for those who already some experience with VR HMD. So you still have to interact together with the virtual object with the remote devices controller. Yeah, so that you can pick, you can drop, and so on. Okay, and what happened to AR? Okay, AR, the scene generation is a minimal rendering, means that it's not, if there is just a new object appears, should be okay, even it is not realistic. But the best is realistic. Let's say, for example, our friend here, so suddenly they have duplicate another one. So we don't need the virtual representative as real as possible. But if that's real, it's okay. It's kind of like ghost. Okay, and then the display device is non-immersive, so you can be on the smartphone. Okay, so the small field of view is okay. Yeah, and in terms of the tracking and sensing should be high accuracy. So meaning that when you want to interact with the virtual object, because it's a virtual world, so you need to accurately define because there is no control. There's no controller on the augmented reality. Okay. So in general, you can differentiate between AR and VR. So VR, when you put your device in, this is like current VR practice. Yeah. There is like when you enter one room, there's totally different. The one we call it as a cave, yeah, cave virtual environment. And for the consumer level, I think now you can get it. How much? Anyone have it at home? VR device? It's less than one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 2,000, 3,000. Yeah. The middle range, I think around 1,000, 2,000. You can buy. It's cheaper than maybe your phone, 4,000. Yeah, and then it's become cheaper later when it's a mass production. Yeah, like Oculus. Yeah, Oculus Quest 2 now is mobile. Yeah, and AR basically you can see from the overlay from your camera, display camera. Right. Okay, so basically AR when it's popular, when the Pokemon Go AR is, popularized the world through their application. Any of you have played this? Yeah, sampai fatwa keluar haram lah apa semua kan lah. Right? That is the impact lah. Yeah, the impact, and then it's trending as well. But it's good to, they have this so that this area, the technology has been generalize, go to the real consumer and so on. So basically, for those who didn't have experience, you still can download now, still available. But the idea is basically you need to find this dragon or what call it, Pokemon gang and so on everywhere. So it's also actually have been controlled by the developer where he want to put, and also based on the community input. Then when you go to one place, so when you on this device or this game, you can see suddenly there's a Pokemon appears, and then you need to kill that Pokemon. So for those who nearby kill the Pokemon, you can get more mark and you can conquer that place. Okay, so that's why when there's hype during the early beginning of this game, where a crowd of people trying to go to one place because it's moving as well. Yeah, this Pokemon is also suddenly run away. Then for those who are still driving, then they just see they switch on the Pokemon, and then they see that Pokemon and want to grab the prize or the point. So that's what make these things so-called some part is for fatwa is like so-called haram and so on. But I think it's actually the technology and depend on the how you implement the technology. All right. So this is one of the imagination of augmented reality in the film. Okay. Lagi 5 minit. Okay. All right. What is the film? Iron Man. Okay. So imagine that this is the virtual object. On how he put this object into here, there's a lot of technical. Basically, if you want to produce a PhD, there's more than 1,000 PhD. you can go into this registration only, on how to register and how to make it like the things moving, on how to make it the things communicate with the data and so on. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Psychology. Not only on computer, not only on ICT, but it's a cross-disciplinary. Yeah? And robotic, there's a lot. Yeah? And it's all start in imagination of the film in 1977 where Star Wars, like it's a hologram. But then actually earlier, I'm not sure who follow whom. I think this is early 60s or late 50s. Any of you have found?
Gambar siapa tu ni? Coba aku tengok. Amboi, cantiknya. Pakai kot pula. Tunang kau dia ni? Namanya siapa?
Nama saya Ibrahim Pendek. Yang ini Aini Jasmine, cinta hati saya. Jangan marah ya.
Gambar ini bercakap ni. Kalau Encik sampai nanti buang gambar tunang saya. Tidak, aku tidak buang gambar tunang kau. Tapi aku terperanjat. Gambar itu bercakap. Tak kena gambar boleh bercakap. Nggak percaya, Tiani. Nanti aku cari saksi. Siapa yang boleh jadi saksi? Tanya itu orang-orang rumah. Dia tidak gambar ini bercakap. Kan? Dia bilang iya. Orang semua bilang iya ini gambar bercakap. Dia sama juga. Sudah nih. Hari kita ada tetamu 3 orang. Kau bikin kopi. Tamu perempuan ke laki-laki, Cik?
Okay, so basically what is the technology related to this augmented reality? So why? On the photo, so this is another version of augmented.
Sudah berapa kali aku kasih tahu sama kau. Aku cinta dengan kau. Sumpah ini, sumpah.
So now actually you can, how many of you have experience develop this thing? you can have the, like, let's say for example, your photo or your video, your screen capture video, put one, and then when you scan, you can play the video. Okay, on that, let's say for example for newspaper. So this is like one of the imagination earlier before Star Wars, I suppose, on the technology. Okay. Okay, I think before we have a break, we just watch this video, and don't worry, after this there's a lot of video, so that we can have more understanding. So okay, I will explain this later. So let's have break for how long? 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So we're coming back around 10:20. All right. When we talk about education, it's more about balancing technology and content again. Yeah, and content is not only the content, but it's also need to input some psychology element. Yeah, and when we talk about education, it's not only school or university, but it's also applied to the actual learning professional program. As well as the lifelong learning. Okay, so this is the past classroom. Okay, it's easy to find picture from Piramli film lah, so for the past. So that okay, during the session during this one is 1960s lah. The earlier, I think there is not really formal education. It's more on like maybe pondok or maybe just face to face and so on. Okay, here you need to have, this is like still face to face when you go to school, meet teacher, meet friend. Yeah, this is an example of lifelong learning lah. Lifelong learning, and this is a normal school. Okay, so you need to have a blackboard or blackboard chalk. And something to write in front, and then followed by the student. Okay, and then this may be current classroom. Okay, so what is the difference between current classroom and the past classroom? You have projector. Where's the projector? Okay, like today. Okay, and then the LCD, table and chairs normal. Oh. Okay, maybe this is a future classroom lah. In the future. This is a future classroom. Actually, it's a video, right?
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things. What if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen? Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine. Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. This is Microsoft HoloLens.
Okay. And any lab here have this device? I think they have some. Have, yeah? So already get some. Okay, so it's very good, I think. And any project you have deploy with the HoloLens? Okay, that's pretty good. Good to hear. All right. So from this video, anything new from yourself? Anything new, or is common already? Just maybe there's a lot of things, yeah, related to technology or content. So anything new, or maybe the nearest to you from the video? Right. Okay. That one actually to remotely giving instruction. Okay. Or else now if you use Zoom or WhatsApp call can. Okay. Well, nak pusing kanan kiri or confusing. So this can make it easier. Okay. Good. So what else? Anything interesting lah, maybe anything interesting from that video that maybe one day maybe you want to have it in your hand as well.
I noticed that the technology used by the adults, not by the kids.
Okay. So that one's more on the adult, yeah? All right. Yeah. Okay. Correct. Yeah. So yeah, basically when we talk about the HoloLens by itself, yeah, it is actually it's bulky. Yeah, it's bulky, and also you need to have, and also it's still expensive. And this is the reality lah. It seems goes to your laptop. Yeah, laptop actually in 1990s maybe is how much laptop? 20,000 maybe that time. Kan? So it's HoloLens price now lah. Kan? So now 3,000 kan. Ada kata yang viral tu 800 semua dapat. Yeah, as for now, they have to. Yeah. They're still in prototype level. I think something, all the molecule structure or the scientific. It's kind of like can feel. They can just touch, virtually touch, and then make a separation like during real experiment. Rotate. Yeah. That one is more on the content development. Development of the content. So basically, there is. I'm not sure whether it is available or not. I think I have seen the research done by few researchers related to the chemistry research on molecule visualization, and they can visualize it through this AR VR. Okay, later if I found that particular, because that one is I think in the research paper published in journal, I will share insyaAllah later. Correct. Yeah, can help. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So that's the issue lah. Basically, the issue on the first is we talk about internet connection first. So this is the assumption lah. The assumption that our connection is hopefully becoming fast and faster lah in the future. We have here now our internet compared to the previous 5 years, 10 years is better. So you can imagine it's actually the exponential growth of the internet. When we have 5G, 6G later, it will be very fast. So then this solve the issue on the interaction on the online. Then when we talk about the hardware, of course, there is still a lot of research. That's why I said when we want to go to the virtual environment, virtual reality, so it should imitate the real world. So the real world should not wearing this glass. Maybe you can enter one room, so all the display surrounding, and then you can get any holographic technology and so on. So that's one of the for those anyone doing research on HCI, human computer interaction, or human machine, human robot interaction. So that is the future. I mean, if you are doing research not only for assessing the current technology, but you should have a new technology imagination. So and basically go into the real experiment and application. Okay.
If I mention, because we have one person from social science, just last January I visited one of the university in US, and how they actually use this technology in social science is by using that VR, the lens, the Oculus. I can really experience the social racism, because we have heard that we've heard about the George Floyd and everything, but we never experienced that, right? And I don't think I would want to feel how it is surrounded by people who actually racist. But this one of the university in US, in Shenandoah University, they actually have this VR where I actually sit on the chair, and that I can really feel the social racism actually happening around me. So the VR really mimic the actual scenarios that someone is actually being pushed around. So I have to see that people being pushed around. I have to see people being intimidated with very harsh words, and that happens real next to me. So I can turn around, people cursing and everything. So after that, I really then can feel what is happening. So we always think that this technology is only for science, but it is not. And I think now social science could benefit more from such technology. I really hope later on And also maybe for the good news for Prof. Shahrizal, the person who actually developed that will be coming to IUM this September. So maybe we can initiate some kind of awareness and exposure for not only for science but also for social science on how to benefit from VR, inshallah. Okay, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, just before, as Prof. Mira was saying, that social science also has something to do in this context. So I'm very pleased to share with you that yes, I had already did some research with this virtual education with the school-going students, and unfortunately, I found some negative things. For example, that just before you mentioned that racial issue and some stratification, social stratification, those issues. And yes, it is true that whenever we are giving some kind of technologies to the society, all the students or all the people cannot use this equally. Okay, so those who have some money or those who are from the elite family, they can use it. But what about the other students? So this kind of, before implementing this kind of technology, we need to think about that all the students can be benefited from this equally or not. This is one issue. And another issue is that if we implement this kind of technology, so that research told me that some other issues, so, for example, the socialization and other things that we usually give to the students beside that textbook education, for example, the leadership, discipline, and all other issues. So these are missing sometimes from these online classes or virtual classes. So, so if we implement this kind of virtual education, so we need to think about those issues as well. So I am here today to learn these things, that how actually we have no option actually without using these technologies in future. As Prof said, that 4R is very near to us and we have to adjust with this situation if we want to develop ourselves. So, but similarly, we need to think that no one is left behind. So that is why I'm here, that I need to learn more about these technological things so that we can bring together, that society and the technology can run together. So that is why I'm thanking our instructor and also Prof. Mira that this classroom is giving me something to learn. So I'm thankful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. So basically, this is thing. Since you are International Islamic University, so basically, as us, we are technology university. So technology university, maybe we are just thinking more about developing technology, but not more on the developing content. So I think content is a lot here. Yeah, content and issues, and then maybe scenarios, case study. There's a lot of here. So basically, that's why I think social or maybe the content team, you don't have to learn deep on the technology. So you need to collaborate with the technology team so that you can integrate. Because I can see there's a lot of work in silo. Because the technology people, for example, they're trying to solve the education problem, for example, so that they create the content by themselves. But the education also try to develop the technology. Okay, they want to apply this AR, everything. Yeah, you can get the basic one, but you cannot get the deep, technology, so that they can, use very, in terms of when you want to use it at school, maybe it's just a general application. For example, for AR, you just scan and then appear the model, and that's it. Okay, so maybe if you go partner with the technology team, maybe from ICT, then I think they can bring a better solution. Okay, so that the technology team also can get more content, and the content also can get more, insight of the usage of technology. So I hope that, and now is the era of the collaboration. So there's no work in silo anymore. So I think this can solve, because otherwise the West or the Japanese, the East, is not don't care about what we want in as a Islamic country or Islamic university want. Basically, we have to develop by our own. Yeah, so that's the niche that we have to increase the level. All right. So this is actually after this. Don't worry, that we have a lot of video but from video basically we can have more understanding. This is more on the construction. There is no from Kuliah of Architecture today? No? Ada architecture? Okay. So maybe it's useful as well. So this is basically more on the inspection, not only for architect but it's on the construction, civil engineers, the quantity surveyor also. So they can contact directly the supervisors or engineers related. Okay, this is another one. So you can see what happened on the ground. Pipeline or any wires. The information is basically based on the GIS, so that I think from the actual drawing plan, so that they convert into the GIS, and then from there our devices can detect where exactly the location. So from there we can map. Yeah. But I think when we talk to the civil engineer related to Malaysia scenario, there's some problem because they are not following exactly. On paper, yes, it's like this. Sometimes it's cross the shortcut. So this is like idea lah, the idea on how they can apply. Yeah. Dia kena ada familiarization dulu before you.
What she sees is
Exactly what. Yeah. This is what augmented and mixed reality lah. Because why? You can actually what you see is exactly what in this video. Okay. So this is virtual reality different.
Into a virtual reality environment using VR headset.
So it's totally different. I mean, you didn't see anything. Just stay actually. Just stay at your place.
To view and interact with the building space without a single amount of dirt.
And yeah, for education purpose, yeah, just now we see this, and then they can directly print it, yeah, 3D printed, yeah. And also for those learning medical, human anatomy and so on. So basically you can see the actual structure of the bone, vein and so on. And this one is if you, I mean, this is for engineering, you can see the turbine, the engine directly from your, table. And of course this one is like geographical things. Yeah? Alright, let me share with you some of the project that we have done in our center, Major X. Okay, this is just some intro. The video is in 2013. So 9 years ago. But when you come now, it's different already. Virtual breakfast, yeah. It's a sharing session for progress for PhD and masters. So during this time, okay, I'll show you this, doa later. So during this time, we have collaboration with Animonstar, Bobo Boy. So we developed a game for them related to the film, to the character. And this is our driving simulator, the Proton Wajah at that time. So this is a Bobo Boy game using Kinect for their exhibition actually. So this one during the earlier version of Oculus. So this is for rehabilitation, cybertherapy for stroke patient. This is a doa. We collaborate with Rabani. This is for sport, agility, hand and eye coordination. Okay, in 2017, we launched our initiative for higher education for Classroom of the Future, have been officiated by previously Minister of Higher Education. The idea is basically on how to implement the AR and VR, mobile apps and e-learning and so on using digital to the classroom. So basically for this, actually for architecture or urban planning, so For example, this is actually just when you go to any sales gallery for house. Yeah? So you can see all the miniature of the area. So when you scan a specific area, so it can pop up the virtual house of that. So you don't have to, and then later you can see something moving, and then you can also zoom in to the particular houses virtually on your handphone as well. Okay. And this is basically some of the experience that we developed for prototype for oil and gas. We have a degree in petroleum engineering. So none of our students have been exposed to go to the actual offshore because it's too costly. Yeah. So what we do is we bring the offshore to the classroom, so then they can experience at least what is inside. They can see the video. I mean, now they can watch video. They can watch from YouTube. But as part of the, as what just now mentioned, psychomotor, yeah, all the things that in experience, so that we can bring them into the classroom. Okay, and also we can also be. This is Melaka, ancient Melaka, Istana Melaka. I mean, the Sultan Melaka punya sana lah. Just now apa dulu kan. So basically, when you learn history, when you just read a book or when you just watch video, there's still lack of experience. So from here, it's like a game. You can get in the environment. You can know what is roles of bendahara, sultan, and so on. And okay, so okay, this is some. Actually, our Magic X is collaborate jointly with the Iskandar Malaysia. Iskandar in apa ni? Iskandar Regional Development Authority.
Magic X is a strategic joint venture cooperation between University Technology Malaysia (UTM) and Iskandar Regional Development Authority (IRDA). Established in 2013, Magic X has played an important role
So this one,
in developing the gamification technology and the digital media industry.
so this one they can interact with the
Center of
object.
Excellence in Malaysia that is focused in research and development, nurturing local talent, and product commercialization. In redesigning higher education, Magic X has introduced the concept of classroom of the future that is in line with the preparation in tackling challenges in the fourth industry revolution. Introducing Magic Experience, the innovation to be developed for the learning and teaching industry that integrates gamification concepts using virtual reality. The Classroom of the Future concept has been fully supported by Cisco Spark to streamline the students' interactive learning experience using the power of internet will be realized with the help of UTM, IRDA, Magic X. Soaring upwards.
Nah, ni zaman-zaman soaring award lah.
Sering awak.
So this is actually what's the application. So we have a virtual environment of the classroom of the future, means that it's beyond the actual classroom. So student can be anywhere, everywhere, assuming internet is not a problem. Okay, so then we have assistant. So this assistant is actually giving the student or participant what to do. Okay, what you have in the schedule, what you have learned so far, and you can ask directly by, just voice, yeah, or sound.
You can press the trigger button to open or close the menu. Now you are free to explore the classroom with...
So this is one of the quiz example. So basically the issue is how to develop the content, yeah, easily. Not on the technical. So that is actually we have developed tools. Laptop pun campak. Okay, and then this is a virtual whiteboard, including slide. So you can write the whiteboard, and also you can appear on your iPad, on your laptop, desktop as well. So from here you can also play video. Yeah. Basically, this is a view from VR. That's why some nampak not very full. No. Basically, this is a technology that we developed. We developed the VR platform. Okay. So, for example, this one you just write, and then yeah, of course, yeah. We can have not necessary actually. You can write directly. I mean, you can use this, and then later you can push later. Okay. So okay, then one of the subject, for example, if they choose to play to learn petroleum. So actually, from here is basically what she can see. She's looking at the moment. So they can, I mean, she can join the session collaboratively, actually with a friend, and they can understand. This is what we call it a Christmas tree, if I'm not mistaken, in petroleum engineering. So what is the function of each pipe? So they can expand, see the component. So you can imagine any, if you are from engineering, you can change into any component of your engine, or maybe structure of a building, or for those who are in chemistry, can change into any type of experiment. And then later can immediately answering the quiz, so they can get some mark. Yeah, it's like game actually. It's like education game. Just we apply it on the virtual reality, and basically this is using VR, but the same application can also use desktop, can also use mobile. Yeah, so it's actually a cross-platform. And we have few on the biomedical. This one for history. Yeah. The data is from MDEC actually. When I was in attachment with MDEC, biomedical engineering, just now oil and gas. This one virtual whiteboard. Okay. Later we'll have some activity on coloring. Unfortunately, I didn't bring pencil, tinggal. Later, but we can use your pen lah, just to experience. Okay, the idea is this is not a normal AR. It is based on the whatever things that you write or color, they can pop up exactly the color that you are coloring. Okay, for example, here, see the turtles color in green. So they can read for your children. Warna. Tapi ada cerita sedih sikit lah dekat ni kan. Pandemik punya hal kan. So nanti saya cerita. So we have produced 3 books actually. This is the book. Coloring book. Huh?
We have to scan.
You have to color first.
Then,
Tapi tak apa, nanti kejap. Tak apa yang tu dulu. Yang ni sebab you dah bercuan-cuan. Kan? Okay. You can pass to everyone. You can have 2 if you want. Okay. Okay, I think let's go directly lah to the activity kan. Alang-alang. Dia punya set story dia basically this actually we try to come up with a startup and so-called spin-off company from UTM lah. And the business model is basically to develop a book and then go to the coloring contest. So in the kindergarten normally we have coloring is one of the major activity lah kan dekat kindergarten. So basically the idea is to psychologically to increase the level of confidence. Kalau siapa for those from psychology, when the children just color and then there is no guidance, there's nothing happen. The student will feel nothing lah, just color and then if there is no excitement, they're not going to proceed. But then if there is something else, it means like anything that he color or she color, he managed to see this alive. So maybe something that he building something, creating something. Okay, so basically we need to have the engagement between the digital and the physical. And also when we go to the kindergarten, from our survey, students have been excitement. And also from anything that you color, you can gather together in one big screen. So anything that he color, he can see. Okay, this is from me, from you, from your friends. Let's say for example, this dinosaur, he can see his dinosaur alive. Okay, but during pandemic, there is no program, activity, coloring, gathering, everything. So we have shortage of the company income lah for this. So what happened is stopped as three books only as for now. And what happened is if you can go to the QR code. Kejap. Okay, actually I want to show the QR code here, but for those who have Android, for this version, we have both actually, but the Apple have been taken out. So for those who use Apple, unfortunately, I'm sorry, as this is a sad story lah kan, we cannot, we didn't manage to sustain this project anymore. But for those who are using Android, you can write warna digital.
Gambar apa warna tudung. Menarik. Lens Google lens. Kalau kau tak tahu apa spesies bunga kau nak tahu.
Dah dengar dah ada yang boleh download kan?
Saya dah download.
Okey.
Dia beritahu aku berapa. Pasal siapa? Itu salah.
Actually, we also have the Mandarin version already.
Kalau scan Arab, nanti kalau kita mix, dia tahu. Android is the big. Yeah, it's using this one. But it needs to be close. Thank you. Satu gambar je. Dapat apa aku jadi fesi?
Ha?
Dapat apa jadi fesi?
Dapat apa?
Okay.
Oh.
Point. Aku pernah tengok ni dekat exhibition competition apa? Competition yang apa? Innovation kan? Dia menang something. Benda ni.
Oh ni.
Warna ni. Dia salah mindset ke apa? Boleh colour lah. Colour. Colour ni. Putih kan?
Okay, what you need to do is basically try to color something, whether using or just put a dot actually in the dark ni, buat tak lalat sikit. Color or so you will see the something will happen.
Color dia punya kaki lah.
Colour sini. Kau ingat ni apa? Choose colour dulu lah kalau kau nak bagi tu. Colour.
Okey, saya dah kaki dia. Lepas tu?
Dia tag.
Kena perat. Okey.
Dalam app tu, dia dah tag gambar ni.
Benda kotak ni.
Kalau kita tag, kita sampai jumpa, kita akan keluar lah. Boleh berdiri. Tag sampai jumpa. Sebab tadi kena ada buku. Benda ni semua dia recorded dalam dunia database lah. Pada apa yang dia ada je lah. Nanti kau explain apa gambar apa. Gambar lah mana hantar kau colour pula. Dia punya apa tu ada.
Ya, kaki ni hitam.
Kaki dia ambil kaki ni. Dia punya frame ni dengan gambar ni. Dia mana record dia.
Titik.
Dalam app tu dia dah ni je. Kalau aku snap gambar ni, terus hang scan daripada gambar yang aku snap pun boleh ada.
Color ni, lepas tu nanti set lah. Contohnya.
Yang kalau iOS ada ni cuma
kau buat dia cacat ke? Aku buku ni.
Di mata jadi.
Ya, tak dapat lah ni. Tak faham. Buatlah memangnya.
The commercialization aspect. Okay, we know that everyone, especially in the university, they are talking about, okay, you are a researcher and what happened to your research? Okay, are you have been commercialized anything from your research? So the answer is not easy. Whenever you say no, then you have been answerable for why no. Okay, if you say yes, and then you are answerable on how many impact that you have made, and then what is the sales like, and then what is the many others. Yeah, and basically this is actually product from the starting from undergraduate student project. And then goes to master, and then not only one master, 2-3 master related, and go to the PhD and getting FRGS, PRGS, not LRGS, some other internal grant for commercialization, everything, and then winning gold everywhere, internally in UTM, in international, in national, Pencipta, everything, and then come up with the startup company, soon to become spin-off, and later some success story on the Ministry of Higher Education itself about how the grant into the community and so on. So basically, this is one of the, we record some activity related to community. So basically, there's a online coloring contest, okay, and also the physical coloring contest. For example, here we have a few physical, and then with the we need to find the organizer to coloring contest, giving prize, and then getting like this. Yeah, you can get more story lah on the innovation. See something like this lah. Okay, even have been launched by minister. So the issue is basically to sustain, yeah, because to develop technology and also impose together with the content, you need to have expert. Okay, this is so-called like it's easy technology. It's not like having a machine, having a very high tech. Yeah, so-called like not a rocket science technology, but the investment should be higher, and also you need to get the sustainability plan, especially for your programmer, for your technical team, technologies, content developer, and also basically this you need to they are human. They need to have like a career path growth. Yeah, so you cannot just maintain. You also need to grow them. So so for the story is basically you need to have a solid or maybe partners lah. Actually, you need to have a commercialization partner, not yourself. I think most of you are academician kan, and I think any of you have any company. I think someone have here any, or you are not allowed to have. You can, you have to kan, or one of the KPI is it? Spin off? No. Okay, not allowed. Yeah. I think most of the university now is moving towards that, but our university is one of the earlier university who invent or venture to the so-called technopreneur, we call it spin-off. There's some success story, but of course, to become an entrepreneur is something different with academic. Yeah. Okay. Okay, never mind. I think there's another application. We call it Amin Daily Prayer. I need someone to help me.
Hello.
Yang ni pun sama, dah tak ada dah. Dia punya app.
Tadi buka mata ke tutup? Aku tidur, buka mata boleh tidur ke kan? Lama aku training benda ni. Buka mata. Otak aku balik. Kalau habis kat beri cabur dia cara beri Islam. Cara beri Islam tu dapat aku dapat komplain benda ni.
Okay, this is another app. I don't know whether you can see or not. Pair with this book. Okay. Amin Daily Prayer is actually doa for children. So this is different. Just now you color. This one is just directly. This is actually earlier than coloring book. So when you want to choose a scan,
dia nak kata illusion mungkin siap semalam kan dah siap dah.
Then you can
kita nampak. Ada budak kita buat dua poster surah Al-Fatihah.
So the pop up. So basically you nampak lagi. So the doa is actually pop up from
Quran ni dia baca dia tengok tulisan yang dekat atas Quran.
No, this is different. This is earlier. Anyone know how to recite doa for masjid?
Saja turun gigi dulu.
Very simple. Oh, Allah bless me with it. You are the most.
Ini doa pakai baju.
So dia scan kat sini.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illahu.
Buka pakaian.
So basically
Ini pop-up
from speaker.
Dia nak pakai balik teknologi dia. Kita point kerana kalau mak dia baca itu dan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim ada corresponding ini Nabi tak buka.
Kalau baca doa ni
tak toheh kan. Banyak application nak buat dekat Zoom lah kan. Ada dekat jam dekat hanya tu objek.
Dia bacakan history behind
macam buku ni dia macam apa tu tapi dia benda ni
Naya
Tak, kena tulis kat situ khas untuk ahli sunnah wal jamaah saja.
Maksudnya kalau okey contohnya kan kena 1,000 2,000 kan banyak murah lah.
Kita kena ada
yang penting tu berapa tenaga kos dia banyak kat tenaga kerja from the beginning. From the
curriculum structure
and then go to master, go to PhD. Already produced 3 PhD.
Itulah bagusnya workshop ni. Jadi kita release sekejap 4 hours.
So that's why diorang dah tak ada sebenarnya. Diorang dah buat hal masing-masing.
Ini final exam dengan grup-grup
ada boleh uji lebih kurang 8 tapi people come and go lah. Tapi yang maintain tu orang dua orang. Ada yang terus datang dari PhD, terus masuk PhD ke jawab nak buat experience je. Daripada China ada okay, they customize back from China untuk autism for example. So actually from this they can grow right? The research still grow but then the commercial tu pause lah sebenarnya bukan stop.
So kau datang kelas kau nak buat online learning
sana je kita sambung. Thank you.
Assistant doa selepas makan.
You know how to recite doa after meal?
Kalau kita tak bagi slide boleh ke? Dan kalau kita tak payah bagi metode tu, kita aja jawab online. Habis. Tak datang.
Ni doa
tahu.
Doa keluar rumah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Jangan cepat saja sangat.
Dia boleh bagi slide. Dia ajar yang tu je saya tak tahu. Lepas tu kau kena ingat. Kau tak ingat asyik kau.
Sebelum ni aku siap bagi awal. This time aku buat saya baru. Aku ajar dulu. Habis baru aku upload dalam Itali. Untuk jadi reference.
Nobody asked how we develop this.
I ask. But you say it will take more time.
Sebab aku macam last time kita dah bagi awal langsung tak ada respon.
Alright, let me tell you a story on how we develop the system lah. Technically, because technically generally, because I think this can impact to yourself as well. For those who want to develop a simple augmented reality application. So, anyone familiar or have been heard about Unity? UNITY.
UNIC aku benar.
Oh, you to see aku benar.
So this is actually the Unity development platform, but Unity is only for, it's actually a game engine, game platform, yeah. But you can integrate to make it AR. In my case, we using Vuforia. VU. Okay, lambat. Okay. So this is Vuforia integrated with Unity. So I think some of ICT people team already familiar with this, is it? Yeah. So and then the model 3D everything you can model through any 3D modeling software. Let's say for example 3D Studio Max, Maya, Blender, SketchUp, and so on. So the Unity 3D is the platform for integration. Okay, and of course sound everything you have to get it from somewhere else. Sound apa Sony apa nama. There's a lot of other sound editors lah. Yeah. So basically the idea is to develop this. It's not only drag and drop based. Okay, so you need to have control on the programming as well. Okay, for example, if you want to have in-apps purchasing, okay, one of our business model is actually in-apps purchasing, where we have other extra 3D model beside these 12. So we have another animals, so you can download that animal and then download the page from the website and color, so that you can come up with the things, and then we can sell it about RM1 per download. So that is another business model. Okay, so if you are developing the education application, this is actually for children less than 9 years potential. Let's say for example chemistry, TVET, everything. So you can also doing the same step, but the content should be this is another area like user experience. So user experience is also important, so that you can have to study what is the real experience that needed by the children, the student and the teacher as well. Okay, and it should not directly following the syllabus. Yeah, because when you talk about game or interactive, it should be when you play, suddenly you understand something. You should not like you have to follow. Okay, module A this, module B this, module C this. So that one is general. I think some of you from education, I think, yeah. I think you have more experience on how to attract student or children on learning by digital. Yeah, because I think digital is need to be, especially on the game. You need to put the gamification element. You need to put some challenge. You need to put some additive so that they want to play again and again. Or otherwise, it's just one time. Normally, we can find many, not all, many education application just for one time. Yeah, you just play one time, finish all the quiz, then that's it. Boring lah. I mean, because why? Because you didn't. Okay, let's say it's all developed by education people, but you don't integrate with the game people. Okay, you don't integrate with the psychology people, because to create a content, how content? Okay, put aside digital content. You just imagine film. What make you watch again Piramli film? Okay, there's a lot of element, comedy, social, what you call it, direct, social scenes. Yeah, something related to our lifestyle. So that is very important at the beginning. It's not about technology actually. Yeah, it's more on how you absorb the environment, and also how you scan the needs of your potential user. So that's very important. I think UIA also have like early children. Study something like that, and also user experience. I think for this matter, I think not only for education. I mean, you need to have like integration. Okay, any question on this? Is so-called our hands-on lah. Because it's very short of time. Basically, we have many other program related to what you call it, the development. Let's say, for example, I'm not sure whether we can have time to show all. Yeah, this is like short courses or professional courses that we have in Magic X.
Micro credential.
Augmented reality development, Unity 3D, SketchUp, Autodesk, and also we have a professional certification. We call it Magic X, MCAT, Magic X Certified Augmented Reality Associate. And then Magic X Certified Augmented Reality Developer Professional. So this might take 5 days, for example. Yeah. Magic X Virtual Reality Certified Developers. So all the professional certification, some of those is certified by UTM Space, and some of those have embedded like macam Internet of Things, or maybe there's cyber security with Huawei, something like that. But it's actually upon request, because we don't have many, expert, ready, available anytime lah. Just need to be customized. Okay. These are some courses that we have. Okay, wait. Before we go this, online courses on the way. We are now developing like Udemy kind of like courses. But I think it's quite slow, the development. It's not easy. Okay, let me show some other related project that can be eye-opener for you, for those who want to explore more on the AR VR. Okay, this is actually for heritage. This is our partner from Finland, Turku University, and basically we try to apply it here. So you went to specific ancient or heritage area, so you can scan anywhere specific in the area of house, for example. And then what happened is you can see 3D model the history of what actually happened in that area. All right.
So kita buat pembukaan KST Prof Adam je lah.
Okay, this is old one from Beijing Institute. So when we go to some ancient place, okay, and then anyone can read Google. I think you familiar with the Google Translator video, camera, so you can get the translation. Anyway, you have the 3D model from the archive telling the story about how it look like, everything. And then what happened if the people coming to this area, you didn't see anything, so they overlap the video, the image, by this so-called machine. So when they are hovering on the area, so they can see the actual visual impression of the previous ancient. So this is not only for tourism but also for education, historical, I show you many type of AR lah. Basically, it's not only from mobile. Okay. So this one is more on the live augmented reality. It is actually suitable when you go to supermarket. There's a large area. I think you are familiar watching this like a National Geography punya animal. So what happened? Apa dia buat tu? Okay, so actually they are interacting with the 3D object. Sang kancil dan buaya. Tak. Just a visual. But in the future, I mean now actually we can do that as well. With the marker we can put then sense. Yeah. Okay. This is what we have launched in 2016. Gallery Memorial Tun Razak as a memorial of 40 years Tun Razak meninggal bukan mangkat meninggal. So this is actually at the, anyone have been to the Tun Razak house dekat masjid negara Bukit Tungku, somewhere near to the burung punya taman burung, yeah, just in front taman burung, yeah, this gallery, Seri Taman. So what happened is when we scan some area of this dining area, so we pop up the image of Tun Razak and family having dinner or lunch, but the image is real lah, from Akib Negara and Finas and RTM. And then when you go to this area, you scan, then you can see Tun Razak have been interviewed by the reporter. This is after 13 May. Alright, so this is actually some part of the application that we can do. And this one in MOSTI, Ministry of Science Technology. So basically, this is actually interaction with this. So I think it's already common now when you go to shopping mall, there is devices, then you can interact with the monitor. We are using Microsoft Kinect for those who are familiar. Okay, so this is actually for MOSTI, integrated system, their display just now, and also they have like information. Okay, so MOSTI want to show their KPI. So for those who waiting, anyone have been experienced, interviewed by MOSTI for grant, kan? So that area lah, physical lah masa dulu kan, physical. So it's actually replacing the info kiosk. Instead of touch screen, you just use like, you feel like you are one of the X-Men punya tadi, Iron Man tadi kan. Okay, this is like a feedback lah. So this is a MOSTI interactive wall. And some of the research in augmented reality, this is more detail. For example, interaction between the real object and virtual object. Okay, this is pop-up 3D. So this 3D, you can blow the tree so that the virtual tree have been affected. Okay. Okay. So how? Okay, try to find the paper. Okay, this one is interaction between sky color and the object. So maybe later when you put in the real object, real situation, let's say for example you have elephant later, so it's make it realistic on the shadow. So you see the shadow, and this is real. So when we move this Bobo boy, then it's mapped to the shadow. Okay. So this a part of the research. Okay, this one is just now you see. It's actually start from the sticker. Okay, during this time, this is earlier actually. We just use sticker, and the marker is from this. Okay, and this one is from our startup, Rainbow Jawi, Cool Code. Anyone have heard about Cool Code? And they are now run cloud already. One of the, I mean, they win startup World Cup previously, representing Malaysia. For Jawi, and also there's a tracing. So they trace by their finger. This is to impose the element of psychomotor, and the game. And actually, Rainbow Jawi is still available in the App Store. And as a parent, you can monitor your children's progress.
Ni biar nak Jawi lemah tu.
Okay, you can download Rainbow Jawi. Just start, both available.
Kita belajar huruf betul.
Okay, this is actually the same thing but change into apa ni, poster. So they just scan one by one. Okay, anyone? So this one, I think anyone familiar with this? I mean, have you looked at this in the commercial? Beli choki-choki, you buy choki-choki chocolate in the store, and then you get card. So from that card, you match if they are friend, they're okay. If they are opponent, they will fight. Okay, so this is idea from our student and it's commercialized by Bobo Boy. Okay. Dia gaduh virtually lah. And then attract the card collector. Okay, and also the comic, the comic any specific place pop up with 3D. So it also can be done by your textbook or any book. So any specific part, let's say for example solar system or something, they can pop up in 3D. So something, yeah. And holographic. Okay. Correct. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Basically, that one is on the content development to make it anyone without programming, is it? So actually, there is a lot. One of those is Easy AR. Easy AR. But then, if you want to commercialize it, it's quite difficult. I mean, just to play, yeah. Easy AR is one of the easy one. Simple VR. This is all simple, easy. There's a Malaysian Blip. Ya, betul. Untuk orang general. But then of course you need to have to follow step by step lah. It's not just like magic then kan. That's why you need to collaborate. Okay, another one is Blip AR. Blip AR. BLIP AR. P AR dapat. Another one is actually are you familiar with the Snapchat? Yeah, Snapchat also have a developer version, and it's not so difficult. It's just drag and drop, actually. Or just not drag and drop. It's a step by step. So you can program or you can make a effect of your face or anything, or even on the floor using Snapchat developer. I'm not sure exactly the name, but you can Google Snapchat developer. Then there is tools you can download, and then you can create a program, but you can view it from Snapchat only. Okay, but Snapchat is quite big now. Okay, anyone know others? Maybe you can share, especially from ICT. Zappar, yeah, correct. ZAPPAR. So this is all the framework actually. Framework that make you easy to develop AR. I plan actually to have the hands-on. Yes.
We have one very interesting application,
AR? LOOPA. Yeah, this is developed.
You can download it right now, install, and a lot of objects.
Yeah. AR Lupa. Lupa in Malay, forget. but LOOP is looping. Yes. I don't know. But thank you for sharing. I think this is also another alternative. It's a good one, I think. Yeah. So as for now, AR and VR as well. Actually, there is a lot of tools because it's now becoming trending. For those who want to play around, there's a lot of application. Actually, I said just now I want to try one but the problem is the limitation of time, and also, I mean the level. I think I need to either is too down or too intermediate. So maybe if you have some other chance, either you can come to our place or I can come again. We can have like a practical session later. Yeah. All right. So this is actually not finished yet. There's still something. This actually our course is just start. All right. This is for holographic. Holographic means you can see from many side, many angle. Yeah, it's pop up from on your table, and you can fight. Yeah, this is the same algorithm actually we use. So the same card actually, instead of using mobile, so it can be used. This is what we call paper ghost. Okay. On other serious system, we developed for Petronas the HAC. Petronas have Institute Technology Petroleum in in Kerteh. Sorry, in Kuala Terengganu. So they train every new staff, especially offshore staff, especially on the HSE, health, safety, and environment. So basically, they want to have more interactive module. Yeah. So this is like 3D lah. It's not AR sangat. And then this can be also one of the module mobile to show on the centrifugal oil compressor, oil and gas. So I make it fast. So this is like a simulation of the compressor gas, the gas process on the compress, and then come out with the hot from cold one. And also, since I joined the center is merged actually to become institute, so we developed the simulator for bicycle. Okay, this is another form of virtual reality. Okay, so we have this environment cave. So, and actually, it's not only for cave, but you can also buy using VR, HMD, or in front of television. And for the sport, basically, for those who have the VR device, I think you're familiar with the Beat Saber. Okay, so this actually we developed our own Beat Saber. So Beat Saber, this is developed by undergraduate student, in one subject. And another game for sport. So what happened is, this is how they play. Okay, and it's not necessary using VR. They can also use a handphone. So if you are running on the treadmill, so basically you can see yourself moving. Okay. And this is one of our current project, VR cave for rowing. So normally we have a rowing simulator in the gym. For those who always go to gymnasium, so you can see this machine. So, but the machine is only for, exercise. We just add element of like personalization. So each user have their own personal data, and they can also view when you rowing. You can feel that you are at the actual river or somewhere in the pool or something. So you can use HMD, you can use a normal projector, or you can use even you can multiplayer. It's actually game technology. You apply it direct to the actual sport machine, sport devices. Okay, another one is on the construction, on the QS or IBS, Industrial Building System. So basically, this we develop a game so that the IBS trainer can learn on how to develop their, the building using IBS technology. And this is very useful, especially when you want to have like exam for IBS in the CIDB. Yeah? All right, when we talk about, okay, this is about the future or research in terms of VR and AR. So basically, if you are familiar with this they call it is a hyper reality. So too many data, a massive data. Okay, and how to make it content, how to convert the data into content that meaningful. Okay, so that's a potential of I mean the trend and the challenges that happen now in the research, or even in commercialization, in the commercial. Whether it is online or offline, there is still issue of internet connection. There is still issue in the, I mean, even we using Zoom or WebEx or Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and so on. We still have connection problem. Either we want to put it online or offline, or maybe the data itself. Some of the data should be offline, some of the data should be online. For example, the graphic data should be offline, but the real-time data can be online. What I mean here is basically for if you want to use a building data, so you don't have to stream the data. So you just pass the data on the interaction data, for example. Okay. So either it is a ready product or prototype product. So if you can see VR and AR, when you want to implement directly to construction, to oil and gas, for example, is it really already done on the real ready product, or is it just prototype? So it's normally most of the product is still at the prototype level, TRL level, maybe 7, 8, but it's not commercial. I mean, they still need to have some improvement. They cannot suit everyone. They only suit for specific target user only. Okay, and then in terms of technology and acceptance, yeah. So this is, I think, common for psychology, even for children, whether it can accept it. Are we accepting using VR devices? Most of us not yet. Even me myself, I feel dizzy. Yeah, when you use VR headset. So what is the alternative of the VR headset? So we are preferring that we interact like a natural interaction without any gadget on our body, but we want to see the virtual object. How? So that's a challenge. Okay, and rather than theory and application, there's still a lot of things. Yeah, most of the things is still on the theory level. Okay, on the application, maybe there's still a lot of things need to be done. Okay, this is all the training that I just mentioned just now. Okay, for those who want to go on the research and AR, this is cross-platform, especially when you look at the human factor. I think it's suitable to talk here. On the efficiency in the VR, virtual world. So how efficient are you? There's a lot of theories say that using digital, you can increase your efficiency, you can increase your productivity. So how many, okay, in exact, the things is, happen. And then the level of immersiveness, the realistic, how immersive that you are when you are interacting in the virtual world or augmented reality. Auditory perception. Okay, when I'm talking here, maybe you cannot hear clearly from other side. So that's another research that maybe, okay, for example, when you use Zoom, okay, you are talking to the whole audience. But when you want to convert into the metaverse or virtual environment, so only we want to talk the nearby. So we can talk like whispering. So we don't have everyone in the hall can hear. So that's the research that we can also potential that be done. Okay, because the mic and speaker in the virtual world should be detect where is your actual location in the virtual environment. Do you get what I mean? I mean that when you are in the virtual world, so you are location based. Okay, so when I was here, as I'm not using mic, maybe some of you here can hear me clearer than someone at the far. So how to imitate that in the virtual world? But when you use mic, you can hear all. So that is what happened now. When you, I think you have to experience. I mean, on the metaverse, it's actually available. Yeah. So when you enter, you only can speak loud to all. So you cannot speak something secret now, or you cannot. Speak something that only for yourself. So it's still not realistic in a way. Okay, and then the haptic. Haptic means the feedback, or maybe something that, as I just mentioned earlier, when we push someone, so how you can feel in the virtual world, the impact. Okay, let's say for example, even if you want to push or pick the chair, so you still don't feel the heavy of the chair, for example, in the virtual world. So how you want to make it? I think that one is not so difficult, because you can just put the weight of the chair, and then in the virtual world, and then you apply physics, so you can apply directly. But there is a lot of other things, on the haptic. And cyber sickness, yes, it's not easy to. I mean, for those who are wearing spec, sometimes you have to make some adjustment when you are using HMD, and you need to familiarize on how to make you familiar with the virtual environment as well. Technology acceptance, there is a lot of skeptical of accepting the technology, especially for those who are already familiar. This is, we are talking about the real implementation. Okay, how you want to implement all the technology to the children, to the teacher, for example. The acceptance of the teacher is not easy. It's not just, okay, I accept the technology. No. Okay, so you need to make something influencing, right? So for those who are working on the user experience, I think there's a lot of research potential that you can explore on this. Okay, on the technical side, for those who are working on the hardware, okay, so you can also look at, for engineering especially, you can look at the display technology. Okay, and tracking for the virtual environment, as I mentioned earlier, on the registration and so on. Interaction. So we hopefully we don't want to have the other remote devices or control or joystick or some whatsoever. Most probably we want to use our natural hand in the virtual world on how we want to do that. Realism, this is on the media, graphic, multimedia. So how you want to increase the realism. But this is not only on the art, but you are on the technical, on the programming. AI, of course, this is our current trending topic on how you can implement AI in AR and VR. Okay, and UX, of course, user experience. All right. Any discussion on this? Anyone related to yourself? Especially we are talking in front of the academicians, is it? So anything that relate to your area, or none at all? Yeah, I mean, at least can trigger. Okay, this is maybe I can explore something. Let's say, for example, many of you working maybe on the AI. So AI maybe not only data analytic, robotic, and so on, but you can also apply it on the VR, because you can easily develop a robot virtually compared to develop physically with the hardware. You understand what I mean? Okay, so you can program your robot virtually, then later you can apply in the real world, for example. Okay, seems like everyone is tired. I just want to show you, and actually we have some discussion after this in a group, just about 5 to 10 minutes. But before that, I think I should show to you.
brought us closer, as if we were sitting next to each other, face to face.
Okay, try to imagine for this in your class. For your class.
That lets teams visualize their thoughts in the room around them. So whether you're on a desktop computer or scribbling notes on your phone, all your digital devices are seamlessly tied together into an infinite workspace. You can manifest your ideas before your eyes by just saying them, and in a click, expand them with the power of all of the world's information. Using augmented reality's infinite canvas, pixels become tactile, letting you manipulate them like clay. We believe digital and physical worlds should live in harmony together. You can sketch ideas out on paper, or have them exist digitally. Spatial brings people and ideas together into a single shared environment, letting us work together in profound new ways. So whether your teams are spread around the world, or you're exploring the world, whether you're in a fancy AR headset, or connecting from a regular PC, anybody can join the conversation and bring their ideas to the table. In 2D or 3D, from home or work, beyond the confines of space and traditional computing, we can work together in ways we never thought possible. We can unlock the power of our collective intelligence as we move from personal computing to the world's first collective computer.
Okay, and then I would like to talk to you about some of the before this. Okay, this is what we have done in the metaverse world when we have our weekly postgraduate presentation. Okay, so you can get all your student or participant like this today on the virtual. Yeah, so you can view yourself from where you are sitting. Okay, for example, me actually I'm the one who wearing this blue, gray. Okay, so I observe from the back. So the presenter actually facing in front. Tapi semua tak ada kaki. Actually, just to feel, this is another level of virtual meeting lah. We have like Zoom or thing is like on the apa ni kotak-kotak screen kan, but then we are like immersive one. Okay, so when you are boring, we go to campfire for the environment. Okay, and okay, this is the evolution of the virtual reality. Yeah. Jangan saya put kan.
Imagine a world where you can become the protagonist of your favourite movie or TV show. Instead of using streaming services to watch a movie, what if you can be able to...
Okay, basically sambil-sambil tengok ni, while you are looking at this video, what I want you to do is having a very short discussion in a group. Okay, how you want to implement this AR VR technology in your classroom? Maybe you can discuss, and later one of the representative can explain. Just a storytelling base. Yeah, you don't have to develop everything. But if you are just two, maybe okay. You go what I mean? I think it's already afternoon, so everyone tired. Okay, so what you need to do is basically in a group, so discuss among yourself how you want to implement all this technology. Imagine. You don't have to implement directly. You can imagine using all the technology that I've been showing for today, how you want to apply it during your classroom session. Okay, you can start discuss. Maybe we have 5 minutes only for discussion.
superstars. Instead, they will be able to use AI that never needs a break, works 24 hours a day, and does all its stunts inside a computer simulation. Arguing that this is far into the future is not compelling as the growth of information technology continues. We are not hardwired to grasp exponential growth, thus we tend to spend our time making non-sequitur arguments about this issue, but we ought to spend our time trying to improve the system so that the economic repercussions are not grave for certain occupations, like acting. Obviously, enormous changes like this would not happen overnight, and certainly actors are getting paid for their gigs in the gaming industry as well. It's reasonable to expect that this will only increase in the future as demand for higher quality of gaming graphics is fueling the growth of the industry. In May 2020, Epic Games, the American video game software developer and publisher, revealed their latest game engine called Unreal Engine 5, which supports all existing systems, including the next-gen consoles, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The goal of Unreal Engine 5 was to make it as easy as possible for developers to create detailed game mods without having to spend excessive time creating new detailed assets, allowing the engine to take care of these problems. It's simply breathtaking when you realise the progression of in-game graphics went from this to this. And it will get only better. If technological growth and innovation continues, it stands to reason the time it takes to go from the graphics shown on Unreal Engine 5 indistinguishable from reality graphics is far less than it took to go from the 1972 Pong game to the Unreal Engine 5 demo. Community, which is by far, according to most users of VR, the worst way to move around from place to place in virtual reality. Propelling virtual reality to its full potential. As VR tech improves, just like the gaming industry may subsume the film industry, seemingly non-related fields may start to converge. Imagine for your school or university assignment, you have to learn about ancient Egypt and how the pyramids were built. You put your VR headset on and you go back in time. You learn and you're entertained at the same time. Schoolwork may never feel boring ever again. You can learn about history, science and even art through the virtual world. Work offices may become obsolete. Working remotely is an ever-growing trend in the 21st century global economy. In the distant future, even jobs that require physical presence may be performed through a VR gear operating remotely connected to the network. As AI self-driving vehicles start to be deployed, time for a car or aeroplane can be used much more productively with VR. Basically, every relevant field in our lives will be improved and transformed through virtual reality technology. Today there are many tech giants involved in VR, such as Sony, Facebook, Microsoft, Samsung, etc. The list is only expected to grow. Apple will also eventually leave its mark in the VR business, literally. But today, Sony is still at the top with about 37% of the total shipments. In June 2020, they revealed the PlayStation 4 console. If they announce a release of the PSVR2 headset, they are expected to remain the lead VR vendor. As the competition between these companies fuels the VR industry, the evolution of virtual reality headsets will also accelerate. Today, you might see the future of VR will be shaped by standalone VR headsets, which are wireless virtual reality headsets that don't require a PC or a smartphone to deliver a VR experience. The headsets, as made popular by releases such as the Oculus Go, include built-in processors, GPU, sensors, battery, memory, and more. But the improvement of 5G technology will enable data processing with close to zero latency on a cloud-based system, meaning the VR headset won't need built-in processors to offer a virtual experience. A 5G fast internet connection will enable data processing on the cloud, which will possibly shape the VR headset so closely to the lens. Then we hold the link between AR and VR into XR, where extended reality is a topic that deserves a video of its own. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing, ringing the bell, and including notifications to never miss videos like this.
Us your imagination of your classroom from this, maybe.
All of us have our own ideas.
Okay, combine idea.
Yeah, you can summarize. Okay, we have too many ideas. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, I'm from ICOL, so the kind of idea that I think can be easily implemented in my class is when we have case law, for example. We have some cases that are as old as maybe 100 years. For my professors, they know Khalil and Kabulik smoke ball. These are cases of contract. When we tell students these cases, it's difficult to understand. But when they can scan, for example, the case title, maybe the documents which were published in the UK regarding the stories behind the case could be easy for them to understand when they see, oh, this is the advert, this is the document that talks about the case. And most likely, maybe there's a video on YouTube that we can always attach to the scan, something like that. So that's one of the ideas regarding law. I think my colleagues here have several other ideas from languages, from perhaps I can just...
Yeah, Islamic education, very interesting.
I think
anyone.
Okay, just one idea from my classroom. I'm teaching Islamic education, so one of my subject is fiqh ibadat. So I'm teaching about the how to perform the wudu and how to perform the salah and how to see the sun and make sure the time is accurately to pray. So how the apps can, when you scan the sun, you say allow Zuhur. After 5 minutes is Zuhur. And even to the when we have an Eid, everybody was shocked about the Eid. So how the apps can help to see the degrees, and you can see from that on the top. For example, that's my share ideas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think there's many ideas. Yeah, just maybe pick one.
Our representative.
Put it here. Good.
You can come middle.
Good.
Taking our camera one.
Alamak. Assalamualaikum. Okay, KICT is the idea is like providing the garden of knowledge. It's like we have our roundabout, so the student needs to move around. The concept is instead of the heavy course, we focus on micro credential. So they need to move around to learn about module 1 and then take quiz, and then from there, if they complete, then they level up, take another micro credential. So consider like the maximum level is 5. So until reach level 5, probably the university will give a certificate on that particular program. Yeah. Treasure hunt, but yes.
Okay, thank you. From here, you have anyone?
Okay, I think in my case it's more to my experience 2 years ago, 2018, when I first implemented this in my class. So I've implemented this as an AR. That time we don't have any inclusivity keyword, but now I realize that's actually part of the inclusivity. One of my students is actually visually impaired. I'm not sure, I think I'm very sure some of you have taught Zainuddin. He's visually impaired, he cannot see. clearly. So I was thinking, because I'm teaching business data analytics, we are talking about the product which visual impaired will not be able to buy it because it's very specific uses. So I'm using the AR. The students actually come to the front. So I try to have some gamification element on it, which students actually come to the front, take a picture, and then he look at the product. Although he might not be able to use it, but he actually look at the product in augmented reality form. It really engaged. It really captures his attention. So when he do the business data analytics, he can relate to the actual users, although he may not be able to use the product. So I think this AR, VR really, really meaningful, not only to aid the education per se, but also for inclusivity. Not everyone afford to buy Oculus, for example, but everyone afford to buy phone, and then we can augment the product in the phone. I think that would be one of the opportunities. Okay. Kenapa semua lari? You do.
Hello everyone. I'm going to give an interesting perspective as a student, right? Of course, like, as a law student, I'm sorry, Dr. Sadiq, you are my lecturer as well. But then again, sometimes we find class to be a bit boring, you know. You might find it a bit sleepy sometimes. So the main idea is always, I'm a graduate of the pandemic era. So during my 4th year, which was supposed to be a heavily procedure-based learning, we are deprived from that. So it's less like presenting in a moot court and presenting online is totally two different situations. So one incorporation that we discussed before is about having a simulation, VR, where we can teach students without the limitations of this physical hindrance. We can have everyone to be adjudicated real time by actual lawyers. So in a virtual setting, you can have a court, you can do anything, and then perhaps this is just one more suggestion that I give is that a lot of times the difficulty for students, especially for law students, are about how do you know what fact to use to determine your legal opinions. So rather than having questions in the form of words, why not have it in form of simulation? A scenario plays out and you have to know which part of that scenario is relevant to whatever argument you have. So that's just maybe some ideas I have about AI in learning. Okay, thank you.
Kan. Assalamualaikum, sorry. Sinilah. Okay, I have an idea. My idea is influenced by Jumanji film. For the lecturer, I think it's good if we can know the student, because after teaching few years, students look the same. If we can put our hand, okay, this one very shy, strength in what, strength in this, so we can to boost, to groom the students' confidence. We do like this, we have profile of the student from the stage, so we can groom the student who are shy to make them outspoken. It's like that. Profiling the student.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I'd like to thank the presenter, Prof, for the very interesting presentation. Actually, I think this one is a highly important topic, which is extended realities right now. But I'm going to talk about from the educational perspective. I feel that the ideas are limitless. We can say about ideas from today, unended. But I feel we have to start by the awareness. Most of the educational stuff right now in our educational institutions, schools, universities, they have either limited idea or they have no idea about the concept of technology at all, okay? Except from using it as filters in Snapchat or Facebook and so on. But how we can lead them to know about the potential of this kind of technology. So this is everything. And it will take them to the second level of acceptance, as you just present about acceptance of technology, okay? Because some of them, they are reluctant to take it. The next thing, how to find the applicable ideas in our schools. And most of the recent research focused on using this kind of technology for high education. You can't find that. And they overlook the importance of using it from the beginning, even from the preschool stage, from the childhood. So we believe that we can start from this kind of stage by the basics, the essential things, which will, according to the potential of augmented reality and virtual reality, enhance motivation, enhance engagement, enhance attention. And also the rate of the knowledge retention is enhanced immensely. So if we just use this kind of concept of technology in the primary schools, early childhood, and so on, I believe that we can functionalize it to the best, and we can find the fruits of this in our schools and education as a whole. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Last group.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our idea is quite simple and fun. So for the last 2 years, we haven't had the experience of Hari Raya. So our group suggestion was to create a VR for the kids to experience the fun of Raya, like masak lemang and dodol and so they get the experience of doing those traditional stuff. So it is applicable for the tourism industry and so on. So that's our ideas. Yeah. That's the extra top up lah, kena bayar.
All right, thank you. And I think, as mentioned, there's a lot of unlimited idea when we talk about AR, VR, and of course, the most important thing, as I mentioned earlier, is how you, this is the term, localizing this technology into the right content to the right people, and then it can be impactful. Or otherwise, it's just trial and error, prototype based, and it's just, and then they forget. And even for today, you can see, especially when we talk about education, there's a lot of multimedia content, available in either is combined together with the textbooks or in the YouTube, everything. So somehow it's too many. Sometimes it's only watch one time only. So how to make it more impactful? So that's one of the challenge. And of course, when we talk about this is actually our roles as academic in your specific area, since all are involved in education. So I think, of course, the traditional way of the teaching and learning process is still have to remain in terms of how to disseminate the knowledge. But we need to take advantage of the availability of the technology to reach and then to make the knowledge or education to be more impactful, especially to the country as a whole. All right. I think actually there is a lot of other things that I would like to give to you, and of course, I guess some of you are expecting kind of like hands-on development for this AR and VR. But as I mentioned, is knowing all we need to balance. But I think if we have a chance for the next session, maybe the same group of participant, we can come again, or you can come to JB as well, or anywhere in UTM KL also we can it's just if you want to have a different scenario or different environment, so maybe that time we can have the hands-on session. Yeah, at least you can develop your own and experience on the development on the AR or VR. Okay, and yes, and actually one of the planning is actually to bring some of the devices for VR devices, so that you can also experience. But this one actually cannot be half day. It should be at least 2 days. 2 days, yeah, minimum, so that you can you can have like a real session, or alternatively you just go to the YouTube, Google, or Udemy. You just type how to develop AR easily or something. So there's a lot of tutorial actually, if you prefer to follow that. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Or for those who want to have the copy of Warna book, actually I just bring few because I don't expect that I want to sell. For those who want, just let me know, and I take it from my car after lunch, probably. This kid. 10.90 basically can go for 10 or 9 ringgit. Ada yang 12 ringgit. This one is 12 actually. Dinosaur lautan is 12, and then this one is 10. So yeah, for those who want to buy both 30 lah. But it's not selling punya ni lah kan. That's why I tak bawa betul-betul. Okay, I think that's all from me. I'm sorry if anything's not reaching your expectation, and hopefully that will give some impact some knowledge advancement, at least for today's session. Yeah, and I pass back to director, or to Mira, if Prof Mira, if you want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof Shahrizal. We have so many this trainer this month, so, and everyone start from SHA, so I really thank Prof for being with us today. And I still remember in some of the visits that we actually do to the kuliah, some of the feedbacks actually wants to see educations from different perspectives. So this is one of the perspectives that we would want to bring, not only just the technology, but the feel that it is not okay to just settle with what we have. We should aim for higher things. Students are actually craving for more things to be embedded to our teaching and learning. And I still remember the old saying from Ford, when he was asking his customer, what do you want to see more? And then the customer said, I want to have a faster horse. But he come up with a car. So yes, we cannot give you a faster horse, but maybe we can use the minimum devices that we have, which is phone, to create one AR app. The one that I created is very, very simple. It's using Zappar just to embed things in my notes, and that changed the whole experience, which I'm very sure everyone, even not only from ICT, even from nursing, and everyone, is just a drag and drop, exactly what he said, and you can change the whole experience of running the course. So I really hope this could be the small car that we have, and hopefully with more trainings to come, the students might feel different experience, and they will not be disadvantaged by the 2 years that we have during the pandemic, inshallah. So thank you so much, Prof, and also all the participants, and also the team from CPD, Dr. Ada, Sister Hilda, Sister Hannah, and also Sister Nurul, which has just left, and also the team from OCAP. I really, really appreciate it. I know it has been a long day, and this is among the first few face-to-face again. I really, truly grateful for all of the hard work, and may Allah ease your journey back to the kuliah, and may Allah ease your journey to complete the semester meaningfully, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum, jazakumullah khair, jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum wa ahlikum jami'an, inshallah. Tabarakallah, and Eid Mubarak again. Looking forward to see all of you in the upcoming trainings to come. Barakallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And let's end sessions with tasbih kifara and salatu as. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Assalamualaikum.